Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Andrea and I'm starting PA school in 2 months. Today I'm going to be answering some questions that you guys asked me on Instagram about pre-PA stuff, getting ready for PA school, and then also things about EdTech and just some medical questions. So let's get started. The first question is advice on how I'm going to pay for PA school. So for right now, I'm taking out student loans and I'm doing it through FAFSA. It's basically the lowest interest rate compared to private loans. And I'm also applying to scholarships, trying to get as much scholarship money that I can get because it's going to be expensive. I'm going to have to pay for tuition and also living expenses. Next question is, when do I choose my specialty? So that's the best part about being a PA and becoming a PA is that you don't have to choose what specialty you want to go into. You can work in any specialty actually. So during school, I'm going to be doing 9 rotations in 9 different specialties. And once I want to apply for a job, I can use that experience during the rotation as me learning how to work as a PA in that specialty and what PAs do in those specialties. And once I apply for these jobs, I can apply to any specialty really. PAs also can work in multiple different specialties at once. I know a PA who's an orthopedic surgeon and he also works at an urgent care. 2 completely different things. The next question is, what's the easiest way to find a radial pulse? It sounds like this person's having a little difficulty trying to find a radial pulse. So these are my suggestions. You take 2 fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and you place them right here. And this is the radial artery. You're gonna feel a radial pulse right there, and it's between the wrist bone and this tendon right here. And then you just hold pressure there for at least 10 seconds to see if someone has a pulse. And if you want to get a good reading, accurate reading of how fast someone's heart is going per minute, you would do it for 30 seconds and then times it by 2. So I can feel my pulse beating and I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd do that for 30 seconds and I would time it on like my phone, or I normally have my Apple Watch on me. And then I times it by 2. Hope that helps. So the next question is, why would you make a good PA? I think I'd be a good PA because of my life experience. I'm able to relate more to my patients, and I'm also able to increase diversity in healthcare. Working in emergency medicine, I was able to see all different specialties. When you're working in the emergency department, there's all different things that are coming in. It can be about the eye, it can be about the ear, the kidneys. All different specialties are filtering through the ER, so you see a little bit of everything. So I really like that about it, and it'll help me with being a PA and just well-rounded. Also, my work experience, I work with PAs the past 2.5 years now, so I'm able to see what they do on a daily basis. I know the job, so it's gonna come easy to me, and that'll make me a good PA. Also, shadowing experience was very important. So the next question is, how do you stay motivated throughout the long route it takes to becoming a PA? I think every little accomplishment has really made me stay motivated because that makes me feel like I'm one step closer to the end goal. If every other year you have something exciting, something new going on, like a new job, you just graduated school, you just finished your prereqs, you just got a new volunteer position, got a new place, or just celebrating the small accomplishments has really helped. All the little accomplishments are very rewarding because you know that it's all gonna be worth becoming a PA at the end. Because the career as a PA is freaking awesome. I mean, there's nothing really like it. So the next question is transition to PA school and studying tips. For right now, I'm not in PA school, so I don't really have a lot of knowledge on that and what I can give you, but check back in a couple months and I'll be able to answer those questions. But so far, I've bought an iPad and a MacBook Pro. I just think that having multiple devices when you're studying and in class is very important. You can pull up a PowerPoint on one device while studying or doing notes on the other. And I also downloaded and purchased GoodNotes on my iPad, so I'm able to write with the Apple Pencil. And I've heard that you can take the PowerPoint that the professor is teaching at the time and you can put it into GoodNotes and you're able to write beside or even in the PowerPoint. So I think that's pretty helpful and maybe a good tip. So the next question is SMU, Samuel Merritt University's application process. So I applied to all schools through CASPA. You basically have one application that's sent out to all the schools that you want to apply to. And also some schools have their own personal questions that they want to ask you that you have to answer. And Samuel Merritt had 3 questions that they wanted me to answer towards just their school and not the other schools. So those questions are submitted straight to them. So you can make them more personable and more towards that school. Compared to your personal statement, needs to be very generalized if you're applying to multiple different schools. You can't say, oh, I really want to go to your program and be a PA because this and this in your personal statement. But you can do that hopefully in the 3 or 4, 5 questions that they asked you personally. So Samuel Merritt had 3 total. There were around 1,000 characters each. So about 2 paragraphs. The next question is, any tips for pre-PAs who are applying next year? So my tips are to always do more than the minimum. So say they want only a couple thousand, like 2,000 hours of patient care experience. I would do more than the minimum because the next applicant is for sure doing more than the minimum too. And if they recommend you doing something, like they recommend you doing medical terminology, I personally would do medical terminology, the recommended things too. Because guess what? The next applicant that you're going against, they probably did medical terminology. You always want to do the max of everything. Get all A's and B's in your prereq classes, at least 3,000 patient care hours, a lot of volunteer experience, leadership experience, teaching experience, all that stuff. I would have at least 5 letters of recs. Some schools require 3 to 5. I would do the max, like I said, 5, and I would make sure that one of the letter recommendations is by a PA that you either shadowed or worked with. And yes, also I would give a tip to say have at least 100 hours of shadowing experience. Next question is, what was all required amongst acceptance to Samuel Merritt University? If you didn't catch on yet, I'm going to Samuel Merritt, so that's probably why people are asking me these questions. So after being accepted, I had to put down a $350 deposit, and that is to keep my seat, saying that yes, I want to go to Samuel Merritt. I want you to keep the seat for me so that they don't go on to the next person and see if they want to go to the school. There's a background check, immunization records, so all your vaccines and shots, make sure they're up to date and that you have all of them. And you also need to get a TB test within the last 6 months before starting the program. So you want to do that later on, not right away once you get accepted, because then you will have to redo the TB test if it's not within 6 months of you starting your program. They also ask for official transcripts if you have a class pending when you apply to the school. So me, I finished all my prereqs back in 2020, then I applied in 2021. So I didn't have any classes pending or ones that I was still taking. So I didn't have to send them my official transcripts. So one less thing that I had to do. They wanted a picture so I can put it on my name badge. I guess they used to do it in person, but because of COVID, they said just make sure you have a white background, have business casual clothes on. And another thing is your medical insurance. They want to make sure that you have medical insurance. So either you can take on one that the school provides you, so they can provide you with medical insurance, which I found out it was going to be over $13,000 to pay for medical insurance if I went with the school one for the 27-month program. So I'm thinking about getting insurance myself. Even though I'm going to be unemployed during this process, I'm going to somehow find insurance and pay for it on my own, a cheaper option, hopefully. So they require you to submit that you have insurance within 30 days before the program starts. So I haven't submitted that yet because I still have 2 months until I start the program. By next month, I'll be submitting that. So the next is submitting a CPR card. They want to make sure that you have your CPR certification and then also register for classes. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to register July 25th for my classes. So there's a couple more things that I still need to do after being accepted. Even though school starts in like 2 months, it's kind of crazy. And lastly, there's an online orientation. I already finished it. It was pretty easy. You go through some modules and it shows you around campus and all that stuff and how you can reach out to them and different resources that you can use during the program. We're also going to have an in-person orientation that's September 1st and 2nd, right before school starts the next week. Now I'm going to answer some EMT/EdTech questions that I got asked. Do you guys do IVs? In California, EMTs, emergency medical technicians, if you didn't know what the acronym is, they typically do not do IVs, which is the line in your arm when you're getting medications or anything flowing. Normally it's the paramedic who does it on the ambulance and nurses do it in the hospital. There is some hospitals, but not where I work, where the EMTs can draw blood. So you have to take your phlebotomy class and you're able to draw labs. The next question is, do you need a certification to be an ED tech? So yes, at my hospital, you need your EMT certification, and then they also want experience that you have beforehand on the ambulance. So I had 3 years of experience on the ambulance before I applied to become an ED tech. But I think the bare minimum is 6 months of experience on the ambulance. But there is other hospitals in the area that don't require that. They require like just a CNA license or certificate or whatever it is. And then they just teach you the tech work as you are working and basically during your orientation days, hopefully. All right, so that's all the questions for today. If you have any more questions, comment below and I can answer them. And also give me suggestions on what you guys want to see. So I'm gonna be still getting ready for school. I have school in 2 months. So for now on, maybe I can make another video if you guys suggest any more things. Just let me know what you guys want to see next. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And thank you guys for watching.